First thing I want to say, Assalamu alaikum, alhamdulillah. I want to thank everybody for coming out. I want to thank everybody for the show all week. Everything that you guys put together, especially you media, you know, whether good or bad, at least you're writing about something. You're writing about me, and you're giving me that platform to be able to inspire and motivate. And, you know, Nainja, we don't do on telese, we go do on. Telese, we know the Eva Karelas, and we don't do on today. Make everybody stand up. Nainja, we don't day. First question.
Kamaru, couldn't help but notice you came in a wheelchair here and limped to the chair. So give us an idea of what's going on, what your status is.
Man, I've said it. You know, when I came in, I said this is what I was going to do. I said I was coming for that welterweight strap, and there was nothing that was going to stop me from attaining that and achieving that. For a long, long time, I've been on one leg. I've been fighting fights on one leg. When I fought in the Ultimate Fighter finale, I had microfracture surgery, and that's usually an 8-month recovery turnaround. I had to fight 3 months after that, and I fought 3 months after that. And I had to train through that, with that. I've been on one leg the whole time. And coming into this fight, I was in a boot all week. I fractured my left foot, and I was in a boot. I was walking around in a boot. But nothing was going to deter me from achieving what I've been, you know, what I've set out to achieve. And so, you know, I'm hoping that I can go back and have the doctor really look at it. You know, now I get a little bit of time. Now, I don't want that much time because, you know, there's a couple of guys I need to beat up, but I need a little bit of time to let these injuries heal so I can not just be 30%, so I can be 100% inside that cage.
You mentioned you've been on this journey for a long time now. You know, not only did you complete it, but you made history as the first African-born champion. So just give me an idea what the emotion is like. I'm sure it's still setting in a little bit, but what does it feel like right now?
Yeah, it's you know, I always envisioned that and knew, hearing them saying and Dana wrapping that belt around me, and just knowing all the things that I was fighting for, not just for me and my family, and not just for the continent of Africa, but for everyone all across the world that come from humble beginnings, that don't know when their next meal is going to come from, don't know if they're going to get clean water the next day. I was doing this for everyone. I was doing this to motivate, to inspire them that, you know, just because they're in the current situation, that's not always going to determine where their life is going to be later on. So, you know, this was for everybody.
You dominated from pretty much start to finish, but I wonder, is there a moment in the fight where you said, I know, I've got this. This is done? I
think about, I heard 30, actually no, maybe about, I heard 30 seconds, and then I was thinking, okay, I need the clap. I need to hear that clap. In the 5th round, once I heard that 10-second clap, I said, okay, I think I just became a world champion. You know, nothing but respect for Tyron. I respect that man. I remember when he won the title, I was at his after party, and me and Rashad brought me in, and I got a chance to sit up there next to him, and we sat down. He was just chilling, and I sat next to him, and I whispered in his ear, and I asked him, and I said, hey, how do you feel now that you're champion? What's the difference? And he told me, he said, you know, nothing really. You know, I still feel the same. And at that moment, I said, you know what? I think I can do this. I can do it. I mean, Rashad's been pouring into me the whole time, telling me that I will be able to do this. And, you know, you say it. I said that, you know what, I'm coming for that welterweight strap, but I didn't know exactly how I was going to do it. You know, I'm a math guy. Okay, that's the answer. This is the formula. Now we got to work out the problems in order to be able to get there. And, you know, tonight was my night.
Last thing for me, I know you want to heal up first and take some time to address that, but I'm sure you saw Colby Covington cage side. I mean, is that the right fight for you?
Can I curse up
rematch.
Here?
What's that?
Can I curse up here?
Of course you can.
I want to fuck that guy up so bad. I can't be in a room with that guy. I can't be in a room with him. It's like, I just can't. And, you know, I can't wait to be healed up and really get to put my hands on him. You know what? That's one I'm going to enjoy, brutalizing him.
Kamaru, congratulations. You talk about, wanting to make a difference in people's lives in Africa. Are you going to do anything are you going to visit there? Are you going to do any kind of charitable acts? I know when I talked to you, you said, just watch what I do when I become the champion for those people. So I'm just kind of curious what your plans might entail.
We've got some things cooking. I mean, in my village where I'm from, they're still not running water everywhere. People are still struggling to get clean water. So we're going to put something together. I have an excellent team, a great manager, and we're going to put something together. We're going to start an amazing foundation, and we're really going to change lives.
So when you said you came from a village with no clean water, did you have running water when you were a kid there?
We didn't have running water. Water we get from wells. And there was a stint where I lived with my grandma. We had to walk miles to get water, bring it over to the house, and you had to boil the water because you never know what parasites were in the water. So you had to boil it just in order to be able to cook, to wash your clothes, to shower, and things like that. And a lot of people are still suffering from waterborne, diseases like malaria is very common there. A lot of people are still suffering from those. And so this is just part of the problem. There's so many things that are the problem, but we're going to look to work together and create something to where we can make life better for everyone.
And I'm just curious, because I'm guessing that poor people like that, they're not watching the UFC, right? So how do they, I know you, when you were a kid, knew about top fighters, Muhammad Ali or whoever. How do you find out about those people, and how do you become an inspiration to them when maybe they haven't seen you fight before? Like, is it just because you're the first African? Is that why it would be inspirational to them?
I mean, not every kid has seen Michael Jackson, but I'm pretty sure they know who Michael Jackson is or of him. And that's what I want to do. I want to create a legacy to where people are going to know about, hey, did you know of the Nigerian Nightmare? Did you guys realize that there was 2 other Nigerian Nightmares in the building tonight? Samuel Peters, WBC heavyweight champion of the world, was in the building tonight. Christian Okoye, Kansas City Chiefs, was in the building tonight. And that was monumental. I never watched a game from him, Christian Okoye. I never actually watched a live fight from Samuel Peters, but I knew these were Nigerian Nightmares that came before me, and it was just amazing. I mean, that's just how it goes. When you leave a legacy and you leave an excellent body of work, it will trickle down and people will find out about it.
And, did you invite those 2 guys? I mean, was that specifically your invitation that they came?
Absolutely. I reached out. I worked with the UFC, obviously excellent team once again back here, and they made it happen. I said that I wanted those guys here. I wanted to pay homage to the guys that inspired me, even though they didn't know they inspired me. Like I said, I never watched their game. I never watched their live fight, but I've watched highlights. Once I found out about these guys, I had to look them up, and I had to research them, and I did, and they inspired me. And so I had to have them here and pay homage to these guys.
Sam Peter could bang. He was a killer.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
My last question, if you say you were 30%, what were you limited in doing? Because you took a guy that some people were saying was the greatest welterweight of all time, at least in that conversation, and you neutralized his offense almost 100%. So what were you limited in doing? Because it didn't look like you were too limited.
Yeah, to this day, people haven't really seen me open up my kicking arsenal. I can kick, everybody. I can kick. I work with one of the best striking coaches in the world, Henry Hooft, and we can kick. And people really haven't seen that. I've been on one leg for years now. So being able to open up and use my kick would make me so much more dangerous. It wouldn't even be fair once I start to use some of the weapons that we work on. But when I get in these fights and I have to go through the ringer to prepare for them, and I know that I'm not 100% going in, winning is the most important thing, and dominating is the most important thing, and that's what we've been doing.
Congratulations, Kamaru. Right here. Congratulations. Yesterday, Israel Adesanya was very adamant to make it clear he wanted you to become the first Nigerian-born UFC champion. Have you had a chance to speak with him yet and get his congratulations?
Izzy is my boy. Not after the fight, no, not yet, but Izzy's my man. I mean, a rare talent. And I met Izzy before he even got into UFC, when he was fighting over in China Rashad Evans was over there, and he said, there's another Nigerian here. This is another Nigerian here. And Rashad watched him fight over in China, and Rashad said, this guy was going to be a problem. And Rashad FaceTimed me with Izzy sitting next to him. And we spoke Pidgin in our native tongue, and we introduced ourselves. And I said, man, that guy was going to be a problem. And lo and behold, the next year, he comes to our gym to help Vitor train for John Jones. That's when I watched him train, and I said, this guy's going to be a killer. And here we are now. And back-to-back months, Nigeria can have 2 champions. Of course, he has a tough fight because Kelvin Gastelum is no slouch. But where have you ever seen that done? You know, coming from humble beginnings like we have, Nigeria, Africa could have 2 back-to-back champions in just months. And not to mention, Francis Ngannou is staring at that heavyweight title right now. So, you know what? I've said it, 2019, we might possibly have 3 West African champions.
Kamaru, you've had Rashad with you all week. What's it been like for the roles to be switched between the 2 of you? Instead of you being in his corner and helping him train, now he's been behind you.
Well, I mean, you got to kind of really ask him because I don't know. You know, Rashad is in this transition to where he's transitioning out from being that badass dude that I came into the sport knowing. He's still that badass dude to me. Sometimes I feel like because he's so humble. He's so humble to where sometimes I feel like he doesn't even realize it. And I'm like, I look at him and I'm like, you could still fuck guys up. Yeah, you had a little bad stint here, but you could still kill these guys. But he's so humble to where it's, you know, it really floors me. But one thing that, you know, the way I was raised, for someone like that was so instrumental in my life, I owe him so much that I have to do everything to make him proud because he invested a lot in me. So, you know, I hope tonight I did a little bit in helping in making him proud. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. You know, all the good, the bad, everything you guys write, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.